guys, welcome back. I wanted to share another journal that I had just finished, and this is a butterfly journal. It's some really pretty fabric. I love this fabric, and I just happened to have it in my stash, and it went perfect with what pages I put in this particular journal. It is a 3 signature journal. The journal is approximately, 6 by, 8.5, so 6 by 8.5, and the spine I believe is 3 inches. Let me see if that's right. 2.5, so 2.5-inch spine. So it's quite a chunky journal, and it is pretty chunky actually. Like I said, you can see there's 3 signatures in here, and it is pretty chunky already. There's lots of ephemera in here, which is nice. So you can either continue to use the ephemera that's in the journal, or you can pull it out and use it in other projects and things like that, or fill this with what you have that you want to journal with, or if you want to use it more as a writing journal and you're not planning on it adding a lot to it, that will work too. So there's lots of pages to journal on in this book, lots of tags and other things to play with, and lots of pockets and tucks. So let me show you what it looks like. So that is the outside. Like I said, that's some really pretty butterfly fabric. This inside cover has a piece of kind of like a muslin fabric on the back, and then this is a vintage pillowcase fabric here, this one that has the floral on it, and there's just some stitching detail around it, and then this is some hand-dyed cheesecloth that I added to the spine just to give it some kind of like a, I don't know, it looked kind of fairy, like, I don't know, fluffy looking, and I thought it just went well with like the theme of the journal. So I added a couple layers of this hand-dyed fabric as well. And as I mentioned earlier, there's 3 signatures that are stitched in the spine, and they are, like I said, pretty chunky. So I love this collection of this printable here with the butterflies on it. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love butterflies and anything nature. And if you do too, you're going to really like this journal. So what I did here was I added some stitching detail, and this is just a doily that has some backing, so it's a little bit stiffer, and it's a really nice tuck. This is just a journaling card here with a little vintage trim tab placed to write on the back. And this is a very old piece of book page. I believe it's in Italian, and it's very old. I can't tell you exactly how old it is, but I do know it is very old, from the early 1900s, if not a lot sooner than that, maybe late 1800s, but I can't be certain on that. I just know it is rather old. Here's some great journaling spots. Here are some journaling cards here. This was a pretty simple card that's just backed on some kind of a cream color cardstock. This is one where I added some stitching detail around it, and then there's a place to journal on the back, just a little label. And then this fits into this pocket. The pocket does have some sewing detail on it and some fabric. So you can see here that I did some ruffle fabric, some stitching, and then some collage work. All of these pockets and things like that are collage pieces that I had made on a masterboard. And there are a combination of printables and some very old vintage book pages and news articles and things like that. And I can kind of point that out as we go along. Like I said, that just flips here. I have another pocket. This is from a very old newspaper, an Italian newspaper here, and I just did some stitching and made it a little tuck spot. Here is a cute little envelope that you can open here, and it's got a piece of vintage ephemera in it. This is another article from an Italian newspaper, and I have some collage here, and this is a place to write on, and it just tucks really nicely in the back, or in this envelope. And then that sticks back into this tuck spot, and then we have this journaling card that just has some nice fussy cutting around it and a great place to journal on the back. This is mounted on some vintage music paper. So you can see here it's some really pretty music paper. This is some hand-dyed, coffee-dyed paper that has been added some of the color splashes. This is, I believe, from Lindy's Stamp Gang. So you have some pretty kind of a rosy gold and some blue, and it matches really well with this album. Here's just a tuck spot here. This is a little envelope, and I don't believe I have anything. No, it's just an empty envelope that you can tuck stuff into. A little tuck spot, some more printable paper. Here is a little flip over the page element that I made. So this is just a doily that I folded in half. And then when you open it up, there's room for journaling inside of it and some collage work. And then that just flips over the edge here. And then I have this paper clip that has a little heart on it that I think is adorable. And then this holds it onto the page. Some more journaling spots, some really beautiful paper here. I just did a little bit of collage with some leftover music paper. Here's some vintage grid paper. Here's another tag. Like I said, I made these pockets and a lot of these tags with that masterboard. Just some really old ephemera or book pages and news articles that I added here, and fussy cut flowers. Did a lot of detail here, added a little ruffly tab to the top there. And that just tucks in here, and there's definitely room for more to tuck in. This is a very old vintage book page, again from Italy, and I think it's probably the late 1800s, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm not sure if it's a rag paper or not, but it is pretty flimsy, or not flimsy, but old. And so what I ended up doing was I did some washi tape on the edge so that when it gets bound to the album, it stays much more stable, so it's not as easy to rip. Just some more beautiful pages here. Here's a fussy cut that I did of some of the pattern paper, and I just fussy cut it for a tag. Another tag made with that masterboard with some fussy cut flower images and some labels. Great place to journal in the back, and some stitching around the edge as a detail. And I love the texture that that stitching gives. Just flipping through. Here's another tag with a tuck, a little tab at the top with some hand stitch or some sewing stitching, and some paper. Another collage element there, and tuck. Again, you can see there's lots of journaling spaces available. Here's another one of the tags, or a little journaling card with some really cute trim, this floral trim, and then the back you can journal on. This is a little envelope that has a tag, which has some cute little trim at the top and some hand stitching, some hand cross stitching there. And then the back is a place to journal on. And this is just, like I said, an envelope here. More music paper. Here's another doily that I just did some stitching on the edge to make it a tuck. And then I added this journaling card here. This is really nice in the back. It's got a little spot to put another little tuck, and there's another tag in here. Hopefully that's focusing okay. And then a place to journal on the back. And then that just tucks in, and that all tucks back together. Some more printable paper. This is some coffee. Oh no, this is I think this is some document like like resume, like parchment kind of paper. More printable, more journaling spots. Lots of journaling spots, like I said, in this album. Some vintage encyclopedia pages. Just some collaging here on this side. Here's another like vellum pocket with some labels and this cute little envelope. This one also is empty, and you can add whatever you want inside of the envelope. And that just tucks into this vellum pocket. And I like that you can see through the background piece, because the background was really pretty and I didn't want to cover that up. So that is cute there. Here is another tuck. Again, some sewing machine stitching. Another tag that's really cute. I love the red, the pop of red that I have put in this album. I think it's really pretty, and some more stitching. Another little fabric tag, and that just tucks in here. Here is a cute pocket. I like this one. It's got some cheesecloth that's like hand dyed on here, and just some collaging. Another one of those with the masterboard. That's really pretty. And then I have another journaling card that has some nice stitching here with some ruffle. And then the back is another place to some journaling. And it just tucks in here like that. Here is just a tuck I made, and then I put this on a piece of bag. So I thought this was cute. You can open it up. It's just a brown like gift bag, and then you can actually put stuff in the bag. So you can stash some like letters or ephemera or things that you don't necessarily want to show, or just things you want to tuck away so that they're safe. And that can go right there. And then flipping the page, here's another one of those tags I made with the masterboard. And I have some of the stitching, and again, place for journaling. And then this pocket is super cute. I love the vintage, or the bird with all the vintage background there. Some of the Tracy Fox long junk journal labels, some more of that cheesecloth. Another little tuck here. This is another envelope that's just held on with a paper clip. You just open it here, and I did add this little printable postcard inside the envelope, and it just has journaling spot on the back. And then that tucks back in, and then we'll clip on the side of the page. And I just did this one, I just did over the page like this, using the edge of the envelope, and I think that looks cute. I like the detail it adds to the other side of the page, so I like to do that sometimes because then you can see this on both sides, and I think that's pretty. And it goes well with the paper background over here. Here's another tuck that I made with like a printable doily. This is a pretty pop of yellow. Again, a place for journaling on the back here. More journaling spots, lots of journaling spots. Here's a cute tuck here that I made. This one is just a printable piece that I did some collage work on down at the bottom, and then plenty of space for journaling with just some cream color cardstock. And here's another great journaling spot that's real simple. And then you can have a lot of room to journal on the back here. And then this tucks in. And this is some really pretty straw paper. And then it has just some stitching detail to hold the pocket closed. I love this printable here. I think that's super pretty. Here's another tuck spot with a tag. And then you have room for journaling on the back. And then this pocket here has some more stitching detail. Sorry for the shadow. Let me see if I can get that better. Some stitching detail, and then it has some vintage trim as well. Some of that music paper. More pretty pages for journaling, some vintage encyclopedia page. Here's another card that I have, a pop of that red. I absolutely love this image here. And then I had this trim that went perfect. I absolutely love this trim. Let me see if I can get a good view of that. It's really pretty. It's got like this, almost like a mesh backing, and then it's really pretty red. I love that detail on there. And then I have another pocket here with that, made with that masterboard, and then added some cheesecloth and some labels and a fussy cut bird. Another tag. Journaling space on the back. Cute little tuck here with a little bird. Another small corner of a doily. I really like this card. This is another one of my favorite cards in this journal. I just really like the background. Again, that's some vintage paper that is like an invoice, some Italian newspaper. Yeah, I just really like this one. And I like the stitching detail around the edge. And then you have the back that you can do some journaling. Another one of those cute pockets made with the masterboard. And I have some hand stitching here. So you can see with the pink stitching. And this paper is really pretty. This is some hand-dyed paper that I picked up at Etsy. This is absolutely gorgeous. It's original hand-dyed paper. I absolutely love it. I just love it. So it's really some nice texture. It's got some crinkle to it, and it's really super pretty. Another tuck spot. This one is just some of that straw paper again. And you could open it up, and it's got some journaling space inside. And that just tucks in. Again, I just did some collaging on some encyclopedia page. There's that Italian piece of paper again. Here's some more tags. So this one has some hand-dyed eyelet trim and some journaling spots. This is just a really simple journaling card here. That tucks in again to another one of these pockets that I really like. This is probably my favorite way of making these now with this big masterboard and just using vintage paper. It's really great. It's kind of very similar how I mass make my clusters. I like to make them on one big page and then cut them up. And this is kind of the same kind of concept, I guess. And I really like doing that. And I find that it actually gives a better background than when I try to piece and collage together like on a simple single thing. So if I took this card by itself and did the collaging, it doesn't seem to look as nice as if I did like more of a masterboard and then cut that masterboard up. It just seems more organic, I think, doing it that way. Here's another cute tag with some more, some vintage fabric here. Another vintage stamp. It's an original stamp, and that just tucks into this pocket here. This is some hand-dyed ledger paper. Another little tag here that you can open up, and then there's a tag here. It folds over. So there's lots of journaling spots there, which is perfect. Again, if you like to journal, there's lots and lots of space on this album to journal. Here's just some really cute little pieces of ephemera that I put in this pocket. And here's a cute little bird, little kind of cluster that I made with some stitching on it. Lots of journaling spots here, more journaling. This is that same hand-dyed ledger paper, and it just has this really long tag in it. I did some hand stitching at the top and added some sari silk here, and it's just got some nice grid paper as a base. And then the back is a place for journaling, and that just tucks into this really long pocket here on the right. Have some more journaling spots here. This is a cute little butterfly with a little whale tail punch. Some journaling on the back. This one is mounted on some brown packing paper. I really like that image. I think that's really pretty. Again, more journaling spots. And here's another pocket. This one I just made with a piece of ephemera. I didn't use the masterboard on this one, but I think it turned out really pretty, and I like the colors with this album. And again, just a little clustering of some labels here, just to give it some added interest. Some journaling spot, another little tuck that I made with some straw paper and just a little stitching. And this is the card. It has some really pretty ticking fabric on the back here with a label. And again, more journaling spots. And that just tucks in right here. Here's some more of that gorgeous hand-dyed paper that I just absolutely love. It is just so pretty. I just love how crisp the image turned out. And then here's some doily that made it into a tuck. Another really cute journaling card that you can write on. Here's some more of that paper that's I hand dye with the color on it. Here's another pocket with some cute tags. Again, vintage postage stamps, some vintage trim, journaling spot. Here's another, that pop of the red that I really like in this album. I just really like the contrast of the red in the album that's got a lot of blue hues in it. That just tucks back into this pocket. And then here you can see what the pocket looks like. Some more cheesecloth, labels, things like that. Again, using that masterboard that I created. And here's the back of the album. I'll just give you kind of a close-up. This is what that vintage bed sheet fabric looks like. I absolutely love it. And then you have more of this fun cheesecloth in the spine. So that is it. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. Hopefully you like this album. If you're interested in purchasing it, it will be in my Etsy shop as we are watching this. You can head over there now. I have a link down below. And if you just enjoyed watching the flip through and you want to give me a thumbs up, I really appreciate it. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I try to post videos of my journal shares here as soon as I make them. And sometimes I'm kind of few and far between, I have work and things like that I do, but I try to post on here, as much as I possibly can. It's a little hard these days, but anyway, I really appreciate all of your support and coming over here and looking, and I will be back again very soon. Have a nice day, guys. Bye-bye.